What's up guys, welcome to Mondo Med, and today I'm going to be giving you 5 tips that will help you succeed in studying and getting the score that you want for your MCAT. Just remember guys that if you want to keep watching videos about a pre-medical student, about somebody going through the medical admissions process, or just about medicine in general, just subscribe down below and so you're updated every time I post a video. So the MCAT it stands for the Medical College Admissions Test, and is about 7-hour test that is required if you want to apply for allopathic medical schools in the 50 states in the United States and in Puerto Rico. It consists of 4 sections, the first one being chemistry and physics section, followed by the CAR section, which is the English portion of the test, followed by biology and biochemistry, and lastly the new section, which is the psychology and the sociology section. So I want to give you guys some tips that helped me go through this test and succeed taking it. The first tip to succeed in your MCAT is to give yourself at least 3 months of study time ahead of the test. So the MCAT is a long test with a lot of material to go over and learn. So it's not the type of test like you are accustomed to, let's say in high school or right now in college, where you can just study 2 or 3 days before the test, cram all the information and succeed. It's not that type of test. The only way in which you're gonna actually reach your full potential in terms of studying for this test is to take advantage of something as simple as the spacing effect. So the spacing effect is your ability to have a greater retention of information, or your ability to learn more information by spreading out your studies through time. So you may already know this as something that you've been taught in a psychology course, or you've been taught by academic coaching, and it may be something that you've heard over and over and over, but the fact is that a lot of people underestimate the power of this ability to spread out your studies. So right now, time is your most valuable asset in terms of studying for the MCAT. So take advantage of it and try to plan your studies so that you have a lot of it, because it's gonna really help you guys out. The second tip to succeed in your MCAT is to be consistent with whatever schedule you have. So it's really easy to set up a schedule, and let's say you go Monday through Saturday, 3 hours a day, and you're gonna study a certain amount of topics every day. But if you don't follow that schedule and you're not consistent with it, it's not gonna be worth anything, and it's not gonna help you out. So this may be something very simple, but just by following whatever schedule you come up with, it's gonna help you out a ton, because it's gonna help you little by little be gaining that information, be retaining that information, and by not allowing yourself to have like huge gaps of not studying, you're gonna be consistently retaining that information, and when it comes test day, you're gonna be able to recall it and apply it on the test. The third tip to succeed in your MCAT is to test yourself on a regular basis. So a lot of testing companies, they provide you with a lot of books, which is basically all the content that's going to be on the test. And it's very important that at the beginning, you review that content on a consistent basis, like I said before. Very important that you go through the information provided in these books, because 1, they review the information that you already know, and 2, they may provide you with some information that you were just not taught in your classes or in the whatever courses that you were taking to prepare for the MCAT and for your medical education. So, but the truth is that the MCAT is a multiple choice test, and most of the time, these concepts that you're learning are not going to be presented in a straightforward fashion. So the only way to prepare for this is by testing yourself in terms of questions, or testing yourself in terms of taking practice tests, because you're going to be able to get used to the type of questions, the type of wording, and you're gonna be accustomed to seeing the information, getting used to how it's going to be presented to you, and that's how you're going to be successful and know how to find the answer come test day. So it's very important that you consistently do question banks and even do practice tests. And when you do these practice tests, it's not only doing them, but when you're finishing, you go back and review the whole test, because that's when you're gonna know where are my strong topics, where are my topics that I'm not as good at, and that's gonna drive your schedule. That's gonna drive your studies along the way. So it's very important to keep all these things in mind. The fourth tip to succeed in your MCAT is to shift your priorities along the way of your study schedule. So what do I mean by shifting your priorities? So at the beginning of your studies, you're mostly going to be reviewing content. So you're going to be reviewing the books. I say review for the MCAT because you shouldn't be studying or planning to take the MCAT until you have completed all the courses necessary that will give you the basic knowledge and the basic concepts that are going to be presented in the MCAT. So the courses that I'm talking about are your general chemistry, your organic chemistry, your physics, your intro biology, your biochemistry, your psychology, and if you can, take a sociology course, as is the seventh course that I mentioned. Is going to be very useful to have the necessary knowledge and the necessary background to succeed in the MCAT. So if you have all these classes under your belt, I feel that you're going to be ready to tackle the MCAT and start studying in an efficient manner, because you're going to have all the necessary background information and you're not going to be held behind. Even though you may go back and see stuff that when you're studying, you may see stuff that you haven't encountered before, but you have like the core concepts already because you've taken the courses. As time goes by, most of your efforts shouldn't be in learning or reviewing content, but it should be on doing questions, because as the date of the test comes closer, you want to get used to the test. You want to get used to not only the questions, but you want to get used to the environment. You want to pace yourself. You want to know. You want to get used to the fatigue factor, because the test is around 6.5 hours of actual testing and like 7 hours in the actual testing center. So you want to get used to that environment. So you want to ahead of time be shifting to more questions and more practice tests, because that's going to actually simulate or mimic the actual test. The fifth tip to succeed in your MCAT is that the day before, do minimal work. So the most important thing to do before the test is to relax and clear your mind. Like, it wouldn't be nice that after all these months of studying, all this hard work that you put in, the day before the day of the test, you just feel tired and exhausted, because you're not going to be able to do well. I'm just telling you, it's not going to go well, and you're going to be so frustrated that you did all this work and then you didn't relax and you didn't clear your mind to actually get yourself ready for the test. So the day before, don't be doing things like question banks, or especially do not do practice tests, because the day after, when you're actually taking the MCAT, you're gonna feel the effects of having done a practice test the day before. You're just gonna feel exhausted, you're gonna feel tired, and you're not gonna be able to do the test well. Some things that I do recommend to do before the test, 2 days before, or maybe the day before, is that I know that Kaplan offers things such as, like, for example, quick sheets, which are all these sheets that have like bullet points on key topics for each of the sections of the test. So something like that, which is like a quick review of key concepts, may be something that you want to read the day before the test, but it shouldn't be anything substantial in terms of workload, because you want to keep your workload as low as possible days before the test. So as you want your body, you want your mind to be ready to tackle this test and to actually get the score that you want and you've been working for all these months. So yeah, hopefully you guys liked the video. Hopefully, most importantly, you learned something from this video that you can apply to your own studies for the MCAT. And if you want to keep watching more, please subscribe down below. And good luck with your studies, and hopefully you get the score that you want and you reach your full potential.